A very good morning to all of you seated here. We had a wonderful keynote from Mithil Dave. Let's give him a round of applause. He spoke something very important, which we all need to hear today and repeat to ourselves every day, because we are the generation which is working alongside AI and not behind AI. It gives me an immense pleasure that today we have founders, leaders, innovators who are shaping the way business will take over in the next coming years. And they are not just sitting, like how Mithil said, at the fence and thinking and wondering that what can we do. They are actually implementing, adapting, and defining the whole business horizon. I'm Sushma Tripathi. I'm the founder of the Creative Compass Circle, and I work with coaches, consultants, businesses, and professionals and help them to achieve their clarity for their inner self, so that when they step out of that boardroom, they redefine how business is seen in the world. I'm also an author of a book, Mandala, Your Mindful Companion, and I use writing, storytelling, and reflection as a tool to find clarity for people and guide them through. And now I would take some minutes to introduce our panelists. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. First, we have Yashvi Shah. She's the founder and CEO of Globic AI that works with AI labs, startups, research organizations, and they provide end-to-end data services. She's a strong advocate of responsible AI adoption, and the kind of work her organization is doing, it successfully and seamlessly blends data, human intelligence, and AI solutions to make things scalable and real. Next, we have Mangesh Borkar. He's coming all the way from Pune. He's head of engineering at Redrop and is driven by the work that enhances user experiences, making big, tangible impact for the business and the community as well. Being founding and scaling up high-impact startups, he has always used his knowledge in database, cloud, AI, and has supported not only in scaling up businesses, but also somewhere pushing that boundary which we all need to understand where the technology can take us. Next, we have Mithil Dave, our keynote speaker for the day. He's the founder of Viz Tribes, Content Lab, and the Alchemy Network. He's also an author of the brand Alchemist and From Invisible to In Demand. He is a professional speaker and mentor for nearly 2 decades now, and he has really worked closely with coaches, creators, and businesses. And he has identified and worked on that one gap which we all face: what you have and what you are really creating. Welcome, Mithil. So, last but not least, Vikram is here. He is also from Pune. He is one of the India's recognized voices and thought leaders. He's the founder of Cycus Infotech, world's first end-to-end, with modern businesses to drive growth through AI, connected intelligence, and customer-centric strategies. He is a firm believer and advocate that customer success, which is most of the time unheard and ununderstood in a way where we misconnected with different things, has a very key role to play, and the biggest role it plays is in the boardroom, not anywhere else. Welcome, Vikram. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the panel, and I'm so looking forward to this discussion. Okay, so I have a list of questions for all of you, but before I move ahead, I want you to think over and tell me, if we meet in 2030, let's say, we're sitting here in a room with a cup of coffees, and you would say that, 5 years back, this is what people missed in AI, and you see how today it is transforming the business. What would be that one thing? Starting from Yashvi.
Hello, everyone. Firstly, thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to address this audience and especially the new generation. And so to address the question that Sushma asked, AI is the most evolving industry right now. And if we have to now speak about 2020-30, I believe one of the things that we are missing right now is the trust infrastructure of AI. We see every company is blending AI, but the right sort of AI, where exactly is AI required and where we need human expertise that is required. So it won't be optional anymore, rather it would be something that requires something like an entry level for every company. That where is the trust, where exactly is AI used, and the technology that is beyond what AI is behind it.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. So I think I'm very much on the lines of what Yashvi mentioned. I think it's going to be the trust and scaling of AI. So basically, I think we are in an era where a lot of AI products, they are more of demos and POCs and MVPs. I think the gap still exists where a POC or an MVP moves to a scalable, trustworthy product, and I think that's the gap which I see till to 2030. I think that will be filled very soon. So yeah, that's about it.
Usually, this is the question asked in an HR interview, right? Where do you see yourself after 5 years? So, after 5 years, if you see, as I rightly said in my keynote also, AI is something which is gonna be there. As a product, how do we use it to the optimum? As a customer, we need to understand that, which is very crucial, alongside adding the various skills that are required to even take care of the AI. Please understand, AI was always there. We discovered it. We never invented AI. It was already there. The only thing is now we have to up our game so that we go hand in hand with AI. And what I see after 5 years is yes, we are still 60% using AI to the optimum core. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My perspective is a little different because AI existence is not a questionable thing today. But I would see that by 2020, 2030, if something gets changed, that is definitely what I'm working into, the customer success domain. Currently, it is more of a support function. What is going to be changed by 2030 is it should be a mainstream function like a revenue generation function. As Mithil said in the keynote that it will be AI enabled human scenarios. So with the customer success, which will be infused extensively with AI, but it will be a mainstream function, not the support function by 2030.
Vikram, you have already answered a question which I had in mind, but I'll still ask you one question that if customer success is the next book which you are writing, and one chapter is AI, despite whatever you have spoken so far and how you have experienced as someone who has built a business from scratch, what would that chapter hold?
So I think again I'll reiterate the similar thing because so far the conversations from the customer success. I mean, for some of the audiences who doesn't know customer success, I'll just give you a brief. You know all sales. So sales is acquiring new customers and new logos, and managing those customers after sales has been done. That is called as customer success. So anything which is post-sales dealings with the customer is called as customer success. So far it was more of a support function. People used to ask whether this is supporting the customers, whether this is supporting the tickets, whether this is making the customers happy, the NPS so-called score, like Net Promoter Score, whether the customer is happy or not, that has been measured with that. It was all articulated over there. But when it comes to the future ready customer success, I would say if I want to write a book on that, as Mithil has given me the direction how to write it nicely, I would say like it has to be a mainstream function. And one question that comes every now and then when I talk to customer success leaders, I ask them, do you get budget for your customer success to invest? And they say, no, we have to use CRM applications. So CRM is mainly meant for the salespeople, not for the customer success. So if I want to write down something, I should portray this as a mainstream function so that it will get huge investments to operate and make sure that the revenue sits very strongly besides the customer success.
Thank you so much, Vikram. I think it answers, and I can visualize that how this one word, it's not just the buzzword, it has the potential to change the entire narrative. And being you the torch bearer of this, I'm also looking forward for that book coming soon. My next question is to Mithil. You have often spoken about this, Mithil, that in your experience of 2 decades, you have seen people turning their raw potential to a remarkable result by your guidance. But when you see that whole mindset of how people evolve through learning and AI being the center of it today, what is it that shifted in these past years?
So, Sushma, me being and going into corporates for workshops or even my coaching program, what I have personally seen is whether it is training or coaching, people learn, even in fact, even students, they learn, and now they are either on their desk or they are at their home. And for the next 3-4 months, slowly and steadily, the effect of the training or the learning fades down. Now, with AI in your pocket, what happens is with founders creating amazing tools, it kind of keeps a check, makes them accountable for it,
Yeah.
and keep on validating as well as pushing the same knowledge which they had learned at the very first day.
Yeah.
So in this way, the result stays consistent, it doesn't fade out, and eventually people get the benefit out of it. That is what the power of AI is looking right now.
Yeah.
So not just a system, but also the right tool to back what you have learned so that it stays with you for a very long time rather than just fading away for a
Yeah.
once in a while training concept.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of unlearning and relearning and in between learning that happens. It's only possible, I think, when you're open to it and when you see it that this is something which can tap that untapped potential in me. So thank you
Absolutely.
for answering that, Mithil. Mangesh, my next question is to you. You have went from B2B sales platform to a multi-vertical AI system product touching Tier 4 students as well and someone who is sitting right now here in a metro city. If you observe that entire stretch of places and people and the demographic, how would you define AI-led as a terminology or as a keyword? Because when we say AI-led, there are so many stories around it. But how do you see this whole thing around AI-led?
Yeah, so I think that's a very good question, Sushma. So I think whenever I think about this and whenever any decisions have to be taken on the tech or engineering, one of the most important questions I ask myself is, will the product that I'm building be able to bridge the trust deficit that any other AI tools in the market currently are delivering?
Yeah.
So a lot of the startups today focus on building prototypes, which are just a layer on top of an existing model,
Yeah.
and it means that they are building something which is not at all feasible in the longer run. There is a trust deficit which they are not able to fill, or either somebody else fills it. The larger companies like Anthropic or
Yeah.
OpenAI would fill that eventually.
Yeah.
Right. So the main distinguishing factor in any decision, whether even to build something which needs to be invested in, is like whether we can build this in a way which nobody else is building, and whether it can be trustworthy, and whether it can be scaled within whatever budgets we have on our hands. So that's what I mean. That's the first question I ask myself, and it helps me, have clarity about what we are building and why we are building that. So to answer that question with respect to what we have done in our organizations is basically how do we use a lot of the systems we already have to churn out data and amplify this using AI, or simplify the existing processes, or for that matter to decrease the turnaround times.
Okay.
So these are the main factors which I would like to share from my journeys, and I think that's what I mean by AI-led from my perspective.
Lovely, lovely to hear that perspective. I'm sure once you all go back, you'll ask the right questions to yourself before asking that question to AI. So thank you so much for answering this. Yashvi, I want to know from you that you have always worked around AI, something which is trustworthy as a data and which is responsibly, if held, it can do wonders. Now, there must be some failure line which you must have noticed in leaders. And you must be wondering that this is something a leader should be aware of, but they have not noticed it yet. So, what is that one failure line, if you can talk about that?
So I think we all know that AI makes mistake. This is not something surprising. No matter how big the LLM is, no matter how many tokens of data it has been trained on, AI will always make mistakes. And even leadership is aware of that. But one thing that in my observation I've noticed is leadership misses out the exact crux of that industry that they're working on, the kind of model that they are working on, the use case. So they miss out something that only a domain expert can understand. The generalist build the data. That data, of course, it is developed, but it does not help with the use case that they are trying to build.
Yeah.
So that is something we understand, that the bias that is
Yeah.
created by AI, the kind of use cases, the kind of edge cases that are built, the ambiguity, that only is something that a domain expert can help.
Yeah.
So it's always understanding AI, the right understanding of people
Yeah.
behind the AI,
Yeah.
and the domain expert.
Yeah.
So the correct blend of this, that is how exactly your model will perform.
Yeah. So the leaders and the upcoming leaders in the room, you have to collaborate with someone who is blending so many things to make your life easier while you march forward. So for anything, you can always look for certain pointers and certain factors that will govern how you wish to see AI helping you, rather than creating a trouble for you. Uh, Thank you so much, Yashvi. I will move on to Mithil for my next question. And I saw in your keynote speaking also that you always talk about the real value that lies within the system, the people, and the decisions. Now, you have also spoken about, the sales funnel. When we see a sales funnel, is it possible that a person who is a leader or a founder or an organization leader is not in the room, but the sales funnel works for it? And if it is possible, is it just a mythological story or a technological story?
Good question, Shushma. The whole purpose of building the sales funnel is to work without the leader. If the leader is there and then the sales funnel work, what's the point of it? That's why the concept coined as automation. And that's why the entire AI boom happened, because we are bringing AI as an automation tool so that the leader doesn't need to be in the room to ensure that the sales still work. It needs to work on its own. And that's why, but yes, I will add one thing here, is to build the right sales funnel. What happens is that many of the times, a lot of leaders, coaches, entrepreneurs, they just create copy-paste sales funnels.
Yeah.
They never understand their own customers, what they need, because technically what's a sales funnel? It's a customer journey for that particular product, right? So when you build it in the right way, then it matters a lot that when you craft it in the right path, it gives you the desired results that the leader is expecting. And that's why we say that this sales funnel is working and that is not working.
Yeah.
Because you need to craft it the right way.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you for answering, and I'm hoping that people would understand what a sales funnel should look like, not like a mythological story, definitely. Mangesh, I want to know from you that when we talk about connected intelligence, how does this looks like in an organization?
Sure. So I'll share my experiences building the RedDrop platforms that I'm currently involved in. So any decision which has to be taken by a team inside RedDrop, it shouldn't depend on meetings between the teams. If it can be done with just data, which is gathered probably by another team or another module, that's what I feel defines the term which you mentioned, AI connectedness. So how we do this is basically, gather data, run data pipelines, and then make this data structured enough which can be shared across the teams. So there is a particular data strategy and governance strategy, which is critical in this scenario. And any team which has to define its own roadmap doesn't have to depend on other teams for any kind of data, or they don't have to interact explicitly for every decisions. They can drive these decisions through the data which is already shared through the contracts that we have defined initially. So basically that's a connectedness. So in our case, we get this data from user behaviors. We collect this data using the enrichment pipelines that we have. And then the enrichment pipeline itself gathers the data which is used by the user. The user behavior then drives the models that we have done. And then the AI pipeline again derives insights which are used by the marketing team to create the pricing plans. So it's all connected in a way where the decisions can be driven through the data, and the teams basically amplify what they capture and structure it in a way where it can be reused, and it is insightful for other teams without a lot of meetings and without a lot of interactions or cognitive load to basically derive those decisions.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That defines and explains pretty much about it, and that thought gives me one more thought which I would like Yashvi to address. In this whole connection game, what is that one risk that can turn the table?
I think that one risk is people these days, companies focus on being AI first rather than being AI authentic. So that is something very important. If you're building a company which has AI or technology, make sure you're building something behind what is responsible, ethical. Don't be in the rush to launch your product. Rather, first test it with real world scenarios. This is when the product actually hallucinates. So it is very important to test whether you have the right data, test it with real scenarios. Make sure you test all sort of cases, and then if your model is performing right, this is when you actually get into production.
Yeah. I think that's a very prominent marking which we have done here, and I'm sure this can become the biggest key takeaway of this entire session. Vikram, I want you to highlight on one thing. When I'm seeing customer success and I'm seeing connected intelligence, how these both can blend beautifully, and what can go wrong with customer success if connected intelligence is seen maybe just as a word in a PPT and not more than that?
I think this is a good question because this elaborates the space of customer success. So unlike sales gets handled by one or two people in the room, maybe a salesperson and the pre-sales person or inside salesperson. Customer success is completely different. It has been handled by maybe 10 different departments, be it the customer success team, be it the account management team, be it the finance team, be it the legal team, compliance team, be it the support team, be it the product team, be it the services implementation team. So there are 10 plus teams who manages one customer, right? So what happens is, if it is disconnected, let's say the compliance is seeing the customer from a different spectacle. The ticketing person, the support person sees the customer from a different spectacles. He might see that the tickets have been raised and what is the number of tickets that are coming up. The finance is in a different perspective, like how the payment has been happening with the customer. So everyone has their own spectacles and binoculars to see the customer. If it is not connected, that's what I said, like this is a very important question. Like if it is connected, the organization sees the customer in one central umbrella. What we call it on our Cycus AMS product is Customer 360 Plus. That says what was the past history of the customer, what is the present scenario with all 10 different departments experience with the customer, and with AI infused into this, how is exactly this is looking in the coming future based on the predictions and based on the behavior of the customer. So if it is connected, that means you are getting 100% view of the customer with the past, present and future behavior of the customer. So connected intelligence is most important in customer success rather than any other departments isolatedly. If it is customer success, connectedness is the next game changer if the organization sees in that sense.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. I think that's a wonderful thought you have pondered upon and highlighted that how these two can get connected if done rightfully, and otherwise there are always loopholes that can go wrong and haywire. So thank you so much, Vikram, for putting it forward and explaining it in detail. Before I move on to the next segment, I personally believe those who create something called startup, they are actually innovators. If they do not innovate, they would never make it to the startup community. So as those innovators, four of you, in one line, if you could define that one catalyst that can become the biggest supporter for you as an innovator, what would be that?
I think one of the major thing what as an innovator could be supportive would be the right use of technology, something that we did not have maybe a decade ago. So when you are an innovator, you need to think about everything that helps you, and technology comes first. So the right blend, as we already discussed in the keynote, that the right blend, it should never be passive use of AI
Yeah.
and not even over aggressive AI use.
Yeah.
The right blend of it, and then you understand innovation. And for me, innovation is something always understand first the problem you are solving, whether the problem addresses the right market, not something immediate, but something that you foresee also.
Foresee,
That
yeah.
is when you address it correctly.
True, true, true.
Yeah, as an innovator, I think we are very lucky with the AI landscape that we have today.
Yeah.
The reason being, maybe 3 years back, if I had to build an MVP and test it, it would take me like maybe 40 people team and then a marketing team, huge
Yeah.
budgets,
Yeah.
and it take me months. Right now, it is possible, within a week.
Yeah.
We launched the product, we gather feedback, and all we need is a cloud bill that we have to
Yeah.
pay, and maybe Cursor or Copilot bills, and we can do it with just a few people, and we can test the hypothesis. So I think it's a golden age for innovators, because it's so easy to test ideas, to gather feedback, and we can do it very frugally as well. So I think this for me is the defining moment for innovation, and I think with the cloud with the model API costs going down, which I see that happening very soon, with the AI maturing, I think it will all be about judgment and conviction, then capability. So I think it's a right time for innovators to really step up big time, and I see this is happening already.
Yeah, that's a good thing which is happening, and we are hoping more and more people they use it efficiently and make the most out of it. Yes, over to you, Mithil. You got a lot of time to think for the answer.
So, if I have to answer in one line, there are two factors. The very first factor is to associate with the right people so that they give you the right direction, right? So we are basically a product of 5 people whom we associate with, right? And this is what I have learned. And the second thing is to learn from the other innovators, their mistakes. And that's what, if you see in Silicon Valley, the think tanks and all, they do the same thing. They all come together like a congress, and they try to learn from each other from their mistakes. That is a catalyst which will take you ahead as an innovator.
Thank you.
So I'll give you a real example. This is my third startup. First 2 got acquired handsomely. So I learned a lot from the ups and downs of the startup journey. We have seen the worst. I mean, if you add worst, EST, worstest scenarios, I have gone through that. So being an innovator, the liberty that I have, having my own startup, now it's 5 year, the liberty that I have, how I leverage is, there are problems everywhere, right? Where is my domain expertise that I can see? And how am I solving that problem given the situation of there are a lot of existing players who are already around, who are leaders, who are dominating the industries, how am I solving that problem differently? Considering, like Mithil said in the keynote speaking, that you have that 40% edge
Yeah.
of your own, the way you experience the domain. It's not dominated and governed by the leaders in the industry, but how are you solving that? So if, as an innovator, I can blend my experience and my thought process, given the liberty of my own startup, I think I should be doing that, not by following people, but by solving the problems differently, that I feel this could be the right approach to solve the problem. I might fail, I might succeed, but that's the innovation that I should be bringing on the table.
Yeah. Lovely. I love this answer. And Vikram, I want you to answer one more thing for
Sure.
me before I open it for the audience to ask questions. There's one big technology bet that you would personally make today.
Uh, I would say the decision intelligence. Okay. The reason is so far, I'll give you in my context on the business context. Like so far, the systems, whatever the enterprise applications has been built up, they were system of records. I mean, in our IT language, we used to call them system of records. What does that mean? The information or the source of the truth becomes that particular system. Let's say SAP or let's say Salesforce, they become system of records. Today, we are seeing an era of system of intelligence, right? Where the data is there, you are building something on top of that. But I would bet something on. See, there is a difference between you know what is happening and you know what is supposed to be done. So the decisions are the key things. So if I want to bet on something, that will be the decision making capabilities via system, the intelligence which is getting provided by the systems, and that gives you the right set of intelligence to take the decisions. Again, how are we solving the problems of our customers, and how is our competition solving the problems of our customers? And bigger than that is, how is our customer serving their customers versus his own competitions, and where are we supporting our customer? So the bet is always like providing the innovative solutions to our customers so that they will outperform the competition. And that comes with the intelligence behind the data.
Yeah, lovely. I think that is something which every business should acquire if they really want to build it for a long game. And thank you so much, Vikram, for putting it forward. Mithil, I want to know from you. You said in the morning that, are you worried about the fact that will AI replace my job? So, to the leaders here and the upcoming leaders who are listening to you, what is that one capability which you believe will become more and more important, not less, in the near future?
Bringing your authentic self combined with AI, as I told in my keynote also, that you need to be an AI enabled human rather than AI dependent human. So that's very much crucial. The 60-40 ratio that I told, that's what it is. 60% as a commodity, everyone in this room, whether it's a leader or a future leader, they all have it as a commodity. And that is the common AI. And it is equal for everyone. There is no unbiased there. But that 40% is where you are bringing your own self. Like how, Sushma, you speak a lot about storytelling and narratives, right? What happens here is each one of us is unique and we have our own story, right? That what makes us stand apart from the rest of them. So how are we bringing that element, combining with AI, is what is going to make us stand out, whether it is LinkedIn, whether it is panel discussion, or whether it is also in the forefront bringing different types of products. So that's what it is. So till the time you don't blend yourself with the AI in a way where how unique you are, that's that 40%. Till that time you don't do that, you will just be a copy paste of AI.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Mithil. Mangesh, I want to know from you, if somebody is sitting at the edge of a river and still wondering that this is a river of AI, I may have an idea, I may get a job once I pass out. To that young mind, what is that one lesson you would give from your experience?
Okay. So you mean to say somebody who is looking to build with AI or?
Yeah, so build with AI, and like you all have mentioned this, that most of the times it is not the AI which is a problem. The problem within us is we have not even given it thought properly. That even if I have an idea, how can I use that AI in the best possible way? And if, okay, let's see, if I'm that person sitting at the edge of the river and I'm still wondering that I may use AI, I may have this idea as a startup or an innovator, what is that one thing you will tell?
Okay. So I think I have seen a lot of AI startups in the last 1 or 2 years,
Yeah.
and when I started using their product, the one thing I found is, I can do the same thing with any established cloud model, or there are already applications existing which do the same thing much better.
Yeah.
So probably I would be, telling that person, to first of all think through what is the problem he or she is trying to solve. So the person should be loving the problem, not the solution, which he or she is trying to pitch or trying to create. So I think the first thing is, understanding the problem
Yeah.
and falling in love with the problem.
Yeah.
And I think the rest, it could be AI, it could be probably not an AI solution,
Yeah.
or it could be, like a mix of both.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important to love the problem that you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
And then, you will find means to use AI to solve it.
Yeah.
The second thing which I would also ask the person to gauge or introspect is whether the solution would build more trust or fill any kind of gaps which the existing solutions in the market are not doing. So can this solution be replaced by another company just because they have more budget, or can it be irreplaceable? Is the budget the only factor which will allow anyone else to supersede that solution, or is it something else that is unique to the solution for this problem? So I think these are the two questions that I would definitely tell anyone who wants to jump into the AI bandwagon and develop products, just because it is there. So I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, so all those who are sitting at the edge of the river, love your problem and the world will love the solution which you bring. So think like that, and you have highlighted a big thing for everybody. Yashvi, I want you to take me through a picture which you would like to paint. If it's 2030 and I say the word successful digital business, what would it look like?
So, successful digital business, I would again come to the same topic that it's never 100% technology. And as we move forward, we also need to adapt the technology, the AI. So, it's the right blend where you understand where you need to use technology, where you need to use human experts, and also the autonomous agents. Where these days we are seeing that agents, every company is adopting an agent or maybe trying to adopt. So how exactly you use it, don't give a complete control or power to the AI, but use it rightfully, that where exactly it can help you in the business. So the right digital business would be a company who would be able to understand the difference where technology is to be used and where human intelligence.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much. And with that note, I open the floor for questions, if any, from the audience. This is your chance to get answer for even the simplest question which is running right now in your brain. So make most of this opportunity and you can go ahead with your question.
Dr. Annathan said that the core jobs will less affected by AI. which will be that core jobs? Just like plumbing, anything, welding. What do you like? Mithilesh.
So as you rightly said, core job. Now see, we have photographer Dada here. Okay, he's taking photographs, right? Now this job cannot be taken by AI. Okay, we need a human element here who is going to do that. Also, we have videographer uncle here who's also shooting. Now, please understand the AI corrections or many other things can be done by AI, but that human element, because ultimately whatever you are doing, you're doing for a human. So till now, we have a habit of having a human intervention. Okay, imagine going into a salon for a haircut, and there is no one with no old Bollywood songs running in the background. Okay, and the cutting is done by a robot or a AI who doesn't even feel how much you are feeling as a pain. Okay, so you need to have those core competencies, and the core jobs will still be there. The only thing is, how do we evolve more than that? And again, if we extend it to the periphery of it, even those jobs are not going to be replaced completely by AI. Please understand, AI cannot replace anything on its own because it has not reached to that level where it has a brain of its own. The research still going on, but those AIs have not been released into the world. If you have heard recently, Fable 5 was launched and it was taken back. That's the same Fable 5 which was used by US in the Iran war. Okay, so that's a very deadly software, and especially the banks across the world are scared of it, right? So there are models which are still there in the lab, but they have not been released out. Why? Because you need to understand, maybe the world is not ready. So when we were using keypad phones, the technology already of a mobile phone with a touch screen was there. Right now, the technology of holograms is already there as mobile phones, what we have seen in Iron Man, Tony Stark using it. But it is still not out there to the public because the public is not ready, or maybe not educated, or the skill set is not available in the market to adjust to it.
Thank you so much.
I'll just add from a business context. For example, there are salespeople, there are support people. A lot of automation happens when a customer raises a ticket complaint. It get addressed by the robot or the AI at one certain extent. And then there is a terminology called human in the loop. It routes to the human after a certain extent. Okay, it cannot handle 100%. That is one. Second, when you're sitting in a boardroom or a customer conversations, AI cannot read the temperature of the room, right? Temperature in the sense like, what is the heated conversation, what is the soft conversation? Is it really hot in terms of converting? Is it positive? Is it negative? Those all. I mean, we have a lot of tools like meeting recorders, which converts the minutes of meeting, which converts the entire text, and then shares you over an email like, this is the conversation that has happened. But it doesn't understand the voice modulations, right? So you always need people to assess the situations when it comes to business context. So like Mithil said, like there are a lot of core jobs which he has given nice examples. But I would say from a business context, wherever you need to assess the situation and not the sentences, you cannot replace a human over there, right? So still long way to go from that context.
Thank you so much, Mithil and
I
Vikram,
think
to
sir
answer
has a
that.
question there. Can you have the mic?
Thank you. It was a very enlightening conversation, and I appreciate that. I just had one question. I mean, we are talking about AI coming in as a solution provider, and several startups coming up and all that. What are your thoughts on how do you protect your idea? In the sense when we talk about technology, there is a clear understanding that okay, you can patent it, and basically the idea gets protected. But when we talk about AI, it's an algorithm. Now, algorithms, we know that they can't be patented, right? And at the most, you can copyright them. But basically, how do you protect that particular, idea, thought, or a solution that you bring into the market? Because, I mean, I'm a very, I would say, novice AI user. I use that Gemini and ChatGPT and stuff. Now, when I say, plan my trip for so-and-so vacation or something, these guys, give me out a complete plan and all that. But then all the three are more or less doing the same job, right? Let's say somebody actually comes up with that kind of an idea, or maybe something over and above that. It probably is not going to be a big deal for somebody who's already established in the market to quickly overcome that. So how do you guys plan to really protect these things?
You want to answer?
Okay, so I think your question is, when AI can do everything, as you give it the prompts that you mentioned, what is the unique selling proposition that you create for yourself? Is that
How do you protect?
When you are coming in as a startup, it's very easy for somebody to overcome you, right? I mean, it's your idea, which is very difficult to really protect because you don't have the, the ability to protect your intellectual property through something like a patent, right? I mean, it's an algorithm. Algorithms can't be patented. So the legal provisions aren't really there. And are the governments across the world really trying to do that?
okay? So I think one of the things which comes to my mind may not be the right solution for every use case, but the one way you can probably protect your ideas is basically bake your data into the model that you create for yourself, and then build the context engineering layer on top of it. So what this will do is, it will basically, as Mithil mentioned, it will be like you're baking your identity into the solution. So basically whatever you create is protected because you're not opening it up for anyone else to reuse until you want to actually do it. So you're protecting the solution, and you are basically baking your data into your AI context layer. I think that is one of the ways you can protect your ideas, but it's very opinionated because it depends on what your idea is, and it may not be applicable to every idea that you have. But that is what comes to my mind right now. But I'll let.
So I'll just add one point to what you mentioned. I believe you can never eliminate the competition totally in any industry, not only AI, but even the ones non-tech industry. There is no competition which you can save your idea because people copy it, if not directly the exact copy of it, but there'll be something. So the problem goes back to what are you trying to solve? If the right market, if the addressable market is very large, not one single player will be able to cater that market, no matter how large the company is. Even LLMs have competition. It's not like one chat GPT is enough for every audience. People use these different LLMs. So if you pick the right problem, you will be there in the market. So it's always about what you're building. First, understand the market, see whether the addressable market is actually requiring a solution for that. That is when even if you have the competition, you will be able to find your place in that.
So you're saying, just go after the large pie.
Right. So understand the problem, what is today and what you foresee in the upcoming years. Try to build a solution for that. And then, of course, there will be iterations. Your model will keep developing, but you will make a place for that.
I'll answer this from a business context because this is very relevant conversation for me. I was interviewing one of senior sales folk, and he was having a lot of fascination thoughts about starting the startup and other things, which is very right. But when I was interviewing, he said like, "Sir, मुझे भी customer success का कुछ बनाना था." Okay, I am a customer success platform, and he said like, I also have a lot of things. I also thought of building something like customer success, but I could not because of funds and other things. So I just want to join you. And one of my sales leaders says, sir, इसको नहीं ले सकते हम लोग, ये तो copy करेगा. I said, there is nothing in today's world, if it is non-patented, if it is not a patented kind of idea, anyone can work on that. Right? That's where the question is coming. So I said like, when so there is one PR agency I was telling to him, and the PR agency said to me, "Sir, why are you not portraying your face to your connecting to your product?" I said, "I'm not that big right now. We are a small team. I have to become big, and then I will portray my face like, yes, I am behind this." He says, "No, that's not a question. The major problem is if your customers are not able to see who built this product, then you're out. So if your customer sees that there is a man who is 19 years into this customer success and revenue generation and he built this product, then it makes more authentic, more sensible for them to trust on this product. Otherwise, anyone can build this kind of product with an algorithm. So where you protect is not conceptually, where you protect is from an execution standpoint. What is the depth that you're bringing into that product? That differs. At an outline, you can see like there are 10 different CRM products. There are 10 different ERP products. There are 100 different digital marketing products. But one which succeeds is the DNA of the founder or the core team, which has been infused into that cannot be copied. It can be replicated at some extent, but it cannot be copied to the extent that you have soaked into that and then you're building something. It cannot be replicated because you know the nitty-gritties of that product to the extent that, when someone talks on in the panel discussion with just surface level knowledge, cannot answer the questions. It can only be possible if you have coming with that experience. So idea can be copied, but cannot be executed without soaked experience into that. That's what my take is.
Can I add the answer in two parts? The first part is there is a beautiful book called as Steal Like an Artist, which clearly says that even if the idea is yours, you can still copy the concepts done by someone else. And that's why we say we learn from other people's mistakes, right? So over here, if I ask in the crowd, does anyone know who is the actual founder or a creator of Canva? Everyone uses Canva here, right? Does anyone know who has created that? It's a lady. It's a lady, right? She also realized very late that she need to put a face to it, right? Otherwise, everyone was using Canva, but no one knew. Anyone know who's a founder of Google? Anyone? Larry Page, right? So now, if you see, this is what differentiates people who have built product first, but they have not documented it. Now, if you document your entire journey from scratch, whether your wins or your losses, the whole world, including your customers, will know, even though your idea is copied by everyone else, who's the originator of it. And that's why we stand different than the others. And as rightly said by Vikram, idea can be copied, but जो हमने भोग डाला है उसके अंदर, that matters a lot. And that only if you document your journey, including students here who are into management, right? Even your re-exams, even your stresses, your assignments, sub-document karo. Instagram is not just only about showing the good faces and the trip photos, right? There is one guy who built the entire watch company from scratch only by going live on Facebook and on Instagram. He is now a multi-millionaire of watch industry, but he started from a scratch. He's a bald guy. I don't remember his name right now. Do a research on it. He documented everything. उसने अपना घर बार परिवार सब कुछ दाव पे लगा के बेच बाच के सब कुछ इन्वेस्ट किया. He started with the first sale. Also, he celebrated every single time. And his strategy is fantastic, marketing strategies. So that is something you associate with, and the brand recall. So you remember it. कि ये brand किसका है, इसका है. Thank you.
So I have one question. So this is Dr. Bamne, Kalyan Bamne from Pune, in Indira College of Engineering and Management. I am a professor in computer engineering. We have come up with all the teams, professors and students. Panel discussion is very nice. I would like to ask two questions. As per perception of students, should every graduate, irrespective of discipline, possess AI literacy as a core competency? This is first question. Second is, how do startup balance rapid AI adoption with responsible AI practices and transparency and accountability? Anyone can answer. Thank you very much.
I'll answer the first one because that's what I had addressed even in my keynote, that every human should be AI enabled, not AI dependent. So yes, in the core competency, every student should be AI literate because that is not the flavor of the month. That is going to be now the bare minimum requirement in any industry, right? And in order to be at par with your competition, at least you need to know at least that much. It's okay if you don't want to go more deeper into it. For example, if any student who's doing a management in agriculture and wants to then do farming, organic farming, yet AI is also used in farming combined with drones to identify the weeds and they are removed by laser instead of the traditional farmer who was still using the same thing, right? No harm in the traditional farming also, but if you want to be smart and fast and better, use AI. And that's why that competency is bare requirement.
Adding to this is a right example. So when we have AI team members who comes in, or non-AI team members also who are just in the development team, AI is a mandatory thing, whether it's a Copilot based AI or a Claude premium based AI or whatever tools that we use for coding as well. But for that, the basic fundamentals of the software engineering, the development, that has to be very, very clear, because AI will give you direction and a lot of hallucinations as well. How you judge whether this is a hallucination or not, how you judge whether this is a wrong route or not, only comes with the basic wisdom of engineering. So that is mandatory, but enablement is also important. And again, there are a lot of regulations, as Yashvi also mentioned, like there are a lot of trust factors that you have to enable. So those all are there in the organization level that will anyways be groomed up with the engineers. But if they are coming ready with some basic etiquettes and basic, you can say the rituals of AI, what not to be done in terms of safety and precautions using AI, I think that's a good asset for any organization as a new entrant in the company as well.
So I have a counter question for you. So you mentioned AI. So there are different ways to interpret your question. The first way is using AI to do something better, or using AI to code better, code faster, or understanding the fundamentals of AI, like maybe how the LLM works, how the transformer model works, how the RAG systems work, how the different agentic frameworks work. So what was the question from your side? Was it using AI to do something better, or was it understanding and implementing the AI tech in? Okay. So I think the first question is very obvious. I mean, nobody would say don't you study AI today. It's very, very useful. It makes your job 10x or maybe even 50x, 100x more impactful, faster, and all that. But as Vikram said, the fundamentals are always fundamentals. It's easy to generate code through AI, but the toughest decision is judgment on the code. What code will you just pick and go ahead and deploy to production? What issues or what kind of different dependencies it can cause to you. So the fundamentals would still remain the same. To generate the code, again, Mithil's own thing, human perspective is needed. So unless you understand what problem you're solving and you have strong engineering fundamentals, you won't be able to derive the best results from the AI tool or the model that you're using. So I think the core fundamentals would be even more important going ahead, because the code generation is very easy today and it's going to get more cheaper as you go ahead. You will find, models, all these subscriptions, cursor subscriptions becoming cheaper with every day. So building systems would be easy, but taking the right judgment calls and having a taste and flavor for the solution that you're creating, I think those are going to be the most critical things. And engineering fundamentals, are what is going to, position the student or in the right mindset to take those calls. So that's what I feel about this. logical thinking and judgment, and that comes through your logical thinking. You'll be able to take the right judgment call when you know what is happening under the hood. How this can impact your other systems. So that's where AI can guide you, but you have to eventually take the right call, and that will happen if you know your work well, and your engineering fundamentals are strong enough.
I'll just add one point to this. I believe being AI literate is something which will safeguard your future now, because AI is adopted by companies to improve the productivity, not to replace what you are existingly doing. Because manual effort does create a lot of errors. AI helps with that. But AI literacy is not for youth to understand how to use AI, but correctly to use. Like just one example, we had an opening at our company and we had people to write on our emails. There was beautiful email that we came across, a good pitch I would say, but the last conclusion of the email read, "Let me know if you need a professional version of it." So that is exactly why we need the youth to not only learn AI, but how to use it rightfully. So that is something very important.
Thank you so much. He still has a question?
We'll
Okay.
take this question later because we are getting late for this panel. We need to jump to the next panel. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
So sorry for that. You can always get back to the panelists. So thank you so much, audience. A big round of applause for you all for putting that interest and effort of asking questions. While I was preparing for this whole panel discussion, like how we all do, we go to Claude, we go to ChatGPT, ask for this and ask for that. I was thinking, how would I like to conclude it? I can't see half of them. I'll just stand. So, and let me tell you, Claude gave me a very professional, polished version कि ऐसा बोलोगे and people will clap for you. But as someone who has founded something in the past 4-5 years and found that calling, that what is it that I want to provide to the world, I see AI as Sarthi. And you know who is the biggest Sarthi? None other than Shri Krishna. उन्हें सब कुछ पता है, पर फिर भी वो अर्जुन की वेट करते हैं कि जब तक आप नहीं बोलोगे मैं नहीं जाऊंगा आगे. So be that Arjun. And you all are, we all are that Arjun. So just trust that Arjun within yourself. And AI is there for you. It may have the steering wheel, but if you do not tell them that we have to go to Taj Bandra, वो वहीं खड़ा रहेगा. उसे पता है, लेकिन आपको बोलना पड़ेगा. So बोलें. And thank you so much to all the panelists today. You have brought so much perspective to the whole छोटा सा word AI, and I can't thank you enough for this. And thank you audience for being so patient and listening to it. And I'm sure there's so much you are taking away today home. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Shushma ji. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Thank you.